Hey guys, welcome to episode 20. Today is October 20th, 2016. This is the Meta Meltdown. It's a weekly 20-minute podcast about the current meta in Hearthstone. Each week we'll focus on a specific deck. Yep. A specific deck in order to provide our insights on how to pilot the deck in order to succeed on the ladder. This week we're doing Reno Dragon Mage, one of my personal favorites, and apparently Nate hates it, but it's all good. My name is Dominic Silverddragn, Nguyen, and I have my legendary co-host, Nate Wolter, aka Natediggity. How's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty well. I never said I hated it. I just said it's interesting.
AKA garbage in your eyes.
It's a deck, and my dog's howling it already, so I'm gonna mute myself. Take it away.
No worries. Alright, so this week we're going to go through our personal Hearthstone news, general Hearthstone news, Tempostorm's Meta Report versus Syndicate Data Reaper Report. We're going to do a deck review of the Reno Dragon Mage, and then sometime Nate has graciously given us a Medivh skin. So he's already gotten a golden Jaina, and he doesn't want to re-grind a golden Medivh, so he wants to give it away. Thank you, Nate, for being so ever generous.
You don't have to re-grind it, by the way.
You don't you?
No. Well, the hero portrait isn't golden. Like, if you have, like, a bot skin or, like, a different skin other than the default, because Blizzard's been too lazy to fix it. So I want, like, a golden
everything
barrier around my hero. And when you have, like, Medivh or Khadgar, it's just, like, default, regular, non-shiny golden. So I don't need it.
He's too good for it. So, yeah.
Yes.
All you have to do to win this Medivh skin is to follow us on Twitch and then be the first person to answer our secret question to win. It's really easy. Nate has been thinking about it all night. But yeah. But Nate, it's been a week as usual. What have you been up to, buddy, in Hearthstone?
Still on that rogue grind. I think I have like lower 90s, maybe high 80s left, and then I'll have all 9 golden classes, and then I've been playing some of that awesome Reno Dragon Mage that someone told me about, and it's a deck. It's a deck for sure. How about you?
Actually, it's funny because we actually played the same decks unintentionally, besides the Reno Dragon Mage. The one, I really like it. I really like Reno Dragon Mage. It's super fun to me. I have a really high win rate with it, so obviously I really like it. I've also been playing Maly Rouge. My Hearthstone team plays... well, we tried playing Rogue this week. We banded out against ourselves when we've been trying to get better at Rogue, because I think it's a really strong class. AJ plays it on our Hearthstone team. He's really good with it, so I've been trying that out. It's a fun... It's a deck, as Nate would put it. I'm not a huge fan with it, but I think that's just because I'm not as great with it as some of my other teammates are. But, I mean, I've been trying it out, so that's what I've been up to. Yeah. I hear you have some ladder news for us, though, Nate.
Yeah, there's actually a shit ton of news, pardon my French, in the ladder, or in just general this week, I guess. Starting as of today, patch 6.2 was launched, and there's a bunch of new features. There are some balance updates. There's some additional gold quests that you can get. For example, you can get 100 gold if you get the Murlocalypse. You play 75 Murlocs, and you get 100 gold for that quest, so that's just one of the many.
Oh, really? Oh, I
think there's like
30 quests yet. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think there's like 35 or something released. There's a bunch of them like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Some new achievements were released, and then some of the balance notes. Yogg Saron, when it plays Overload, it finally actually overloads the mana crystals for the following turn. Finally, only 6 months late on that, so...
They already gutted him already. I don't know why. Like, just...
Keep it going. Just cut them all together.
Great, yeah. It used to be my favorite card, and then Nate hates it, so now Nate's like the happiest person ever. We just keep gutting Yogg.
Slowly but surely.
It's all good.
Yeah, and then also as of today, Blizzard came out with a Choose Your Champion feature. So basically, there's 16 players going to BlizzCon, and if you pick one, you automatically get a pack, and then for each best of 7 series that your chosen champion wins, you get an additional pack. So everyone can do that. Go ahead and choose wisely, and then just root for your favorite player or whatever to win. I personally chose Hot Meowth just because he's a friend of the show, and this also happens to be pretty damn good at Hearthstone, so he's who I'm rooting for. Who'd you pick?
He's really good. I'm definitely gonna pick Heartmeoth as well. I haven't done it just yet, but I definitely decided picking on Heartmeoth. It was between him and Amnesiac. And Amnesiac is he either does really well because he tries to see the entire meta of the tournament and then like tries to counter it. I should look at his decks actually because then it'll give me a tell about if he's gonna do well or not. But either he does really well or he like just completely fails. So that's like his playstyle. So that's how he won BlizzCon last year, I believe, or
No,
2 years ago. No, or I can't.
he never won
He won.
BlizzCon.
He won some tournament. That's how he did it. I was watching a stream. That's how he did it. So I'm sure that's how he's gonna do it again. So either between Hamiath or Amnesiac. I like Hamiath. He's a good friend of the show, obviously. So I'll probably do that. And yeah, I'm really
If you want
excited.
a safe pick, pick Tice. He went to BlizzCon last year. I think he was top 4. He lost to Osaka. So, and
packs.
he wins just a crap ton of like actually big tournaments. He's not just like a ladder grinder like some of these people are. So it's probably the safe pick, but that's never fun.
Well, good.
Gotta go for the dark horse.
Good advice. Yeah, you gotta go 7 packs or 6 packs or no packs, right? That's how you do it. Yeah, no worries. And then last but not least, you have the Heroic Brawl. So, I mean, the community has been very, very vocal on the Heroic Brawl. If you've been on Reddit, it's like everywhere. Reynad and like every top streamer has been talking about it. What are your thoughts, Nate?
I really like it. For those of you who don't know what Heroic Brawl is, so basically it's for 1 week, Blizzard is going to come out with a test where they're replacing the Tavern Brawl with Heroic Brawl, and it's a buy-in of either 1,000 gold or $10, essentially. And then you make a deck, and then you can't change that deck. It's locked in, and then you play until you have 3 losses or 12 wins. So it's going to be a crap ton of net decking, but that's fine. It's going to be super competitive. Pretty much everyone who's going to invest either $10 or 1,000 gold into it is going to try super hard. So I think this is kind of what we've been waiting for. This just seems like a test that Blizzard is releasing just to try out like a tournament mode, especially with locking in decks, which has been a feature that people have been crying for a long time. So I really like it, but like most people, I think the barrier to entry is a little bit high, but I think that they only really want like the most competitive of players trying it so they can get some like really good feedback instead of just having like all sorts of, we'll call them casual players trying it as well. But other than that, I think it's really good. It comes out soon, TM, in typical Blizzard fashion, so we don't actually have a release date yet, but I believe they said it would be before BlizzCon, which is on November 4th, so soon indeed. What are your thoughts?
I like it as well. I think one of the things you might have not mentioned was that you can only play this brawl a set number of times. I don't know how many times it wasn't stated, but let's say 3. You can only try 3 times, and I think it's really good. I dislike how much gold and stuff it costs to play it, but I mean, like, I definitely can see why it costs that much. You definitely want only the most competitive people in there. It's just like someone did the math, and it's like they're like screwing you out of like it's like 30%. Something like you're taking a lot of money. Yeah, like they're raking you like out of like a ton of gold, and like people are complaining about like.
You just gotta win.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be good enough, right? So casual. But yeah, I like it too. It'd be really fun. I'm definitely gonna play it. I definitely have a lot of gold saved up, as I'm sure a lot of people who play Hearthstone do. So it'll be a good gold sink, and yeah, whatever.
I think they said you had to get at least 5 wins to like break even. So 5 wins is like 6 packs, which is equivalent of 600 gold, obviously, and then you get 200 gold and then like 200 dust. So that's roughly 1,000 gold. So.
Well, I mean, in regular, you have to break 7 for infinite, right? So I mean,
yeah, I mean, 5 doesn't seem bad to break even, to be honest.
That's
but
true, but it's
5 wins is going to be super hard. It's going to be a lot harder than people are imagining, I think.
I think so too. You're gonna see a lot of mid-range shaman though, so definitely bring a counter, or or bring the counter to the counter. I don't know. It's like a lot of mind game.
Yeah, the only good thing like that's really good against mid-range shaman is freeze mage, and then. Or like Control Warrior is pretty good, but no one's going to bring Freeze Mage because of Control Warrior. I mean, it's going to be like 4 decks, right? It's going to be like Control Warrior, Spell Druid, Midrange Shaman, and then like maybe Hunter to get rid of Control Warrior. I don't know. It'd be pretty crazy to bring Freeze Mage.
Yeah, no worries. Exactly. It'd be pretty crazy. In fact, all those decks you've kind of listed are in the Tempostorm meta report number 14. You want to run through that real quick?
Yeah, exact same as last week because it's the same meta report as last week.
Mhm.
Tier 1 mid-range Shaman all by itself. No surprise. We'll get into the stupid stats that mid-range Shaman has shortly. Tier 2 Malygos Druid, also known as Spell Druid. Number 3 Control Warrior. Number 4 Freeze Mage. And number 5 Token Druid. So exact same thing. So we'll jump into Data Report number 23 real quick.
Please do.
All right, Tier 1, all by itself is Mid-Range Shaman. Shocker. Tier 2, we have Secret Hunter, or excuse me, let me go back to Mid-Range Shaman. 54.71% win rate, stupidly high. Secret Hunter is Tier 2 at 51.29, Beast Druid 51.18% win rate, Zulok 50.92%, and then Pirate Warrior 50.67% win rate. So those are the top 5 in the Data Reaper report. What are your thoughts on those 5?
Um, I like that it's a lot different from what we've seen. Like you can definitely see a lot of people more experimenting. A lot of people are, playing different decks and they're doing really well with them. I dislike how even with the nerfs to Shaman, people have already found a way to uh like optimize Shaman even further, even with the nerfs. So and now it's even more outstanding. So like, I wish the meta wasn't so stale. I don't like seeing mid-range hunter as often as I do on ladder, but that's just an unfortunate reality. So yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Beast Druid is up there. I don't think it has a ton of popularity lately,
Hmm.
but it still seems to be doing pretty well for those who are playing it. Pirate Warrior still made the top 5. Actually got crushed a couple times against Pirate Warrior trying to pilot the awesome Reno deck that we had this week, but it's really good actually in this meta.
Yeah, it does really well for me. Whatever,
We'll get into it.
for sure. Now. Uh, that's because you don't have any observations from the meta reports. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty similar. I mean, Shaman is still getting played shit ton.
Hmm.
Everything else is either in the middle of the pack, like Mage, Hunter, Warrior, etc., and then the bottom 4 is usual, like Priest, Rogue, Paladin, or tanking again as well. So it's what we've been seeing, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon until we get some new cards.
Sounds good. Tell me about mages in the meta.
Yeah, so mages account for 12.23% of all ranked games on the ladder. Reno Mage specifically is 1.85% of all the games, so not many people play it. And then Reno Mage has a 48.68% win rate in ranked games, and it was over 50% last week, which is sort of why we chose to be one of the switched up a little bit with a
Mhm.
good deck. It fell a little bit, but we still feel it's a strong deck, and it has some decent matchups. So let's go through the deck list.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the deck list. Ooh, here it is. Okay, so I have one Forbidden Flame. Oh, okay, everything is one. Okay, so Forbidden Flame, Arcane Blast, Babbling Book, Blood Mage Thanos, Doomsayer, Frostbolt, Netherspire Historian, Acolyte of Pain, Arcane Intellect, Brand Bronzebeard, Forgotten Torch, Frost Nova, Ice Block, Fireball, Polymorph, Refreshment Vendor, Twilight Drake, Twilight Guardian, Azure Drake, Blackwing, Corruptor, Kabbalist Tome, Harrison Jones, Blizzard, Bookworm, Emperor Thorson, Reno Jackson, Choma, Firelance Portal, Flamestrike, and Alex Straza. That's a huge mouthful. If you can check out www.metameltdown.com if you want to see the deck list instead of like trying to hear it out if you're watching the podcast, or you can definitely see it to my left if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch. Um, yeah, that's a deck list. It's a one of because of Reno. I think it's really strong. I have like ridiculous numbers. I have 78% win rate with it. I haven't lost any games to Paladin, Warlock, Priest. I go 50-50 with Shaman. I've lost all my Warrior games as expected. Um, and I beat all the Druids I meet on ladder. So I think it's super strong. Nate, how did you do?
I didn't do as well. I got smorked quite a few times. I was saying Pirate Warrior was kind of just pooping on me.
Mm.
Um, I did fare kind of well if I could draw like a Flame Strike or Blizzard or some like good board clear combo against Shaman.
Mhm.
But other than that, probably not that well. I didn't track my stats because I play mostly on my laptop this week,
Mhm.
so I don't have anything specific for you. Why don't you tell everyone the overview of the deck and how you play it to almost perfection, it seems.
Okay, so this deck is definitely one of those decks that you're really looking to play value, which is what I'm really good at, I suppose. You're looking for really early game drops, like you want the Doom series. You basically want to extend the game as much as possible. You're often gonna go into fatigue. You're often going to, hit turn 10, stuff like that. Um, so First of all, when you mulligan, we'll talk about the mulligan in a bit, but you basically want to get all your early game drops, Doomsayers, Babbling Books, Arcane Intellect, Acolyte of Pains, anything low cost is really, really good. And then you're basically just stalling until you have lethal. That's like the entire point of the deck. And I know Nate felt like he didn't have a lot of card draw, but there's actually a lot of card draw in the Kabbalist Tome, in the Nether Spy Historian, Acolyte of Pains, Arcane Intellects. Um, yeah, like I don't know. I always feel like I have a constantly full hand. I'm not being very proactive with a lot of my cards, so I'm only reacting to my opponent clearing the board, putting myself in a very putting myself in a position where late game I can Alex draws of them, and then they play all their cards. I just wipe them all, and then I Reno Jackson, and they realize they can't win because they have no other cards to deal damage to me. That's basically how Reno decks work in a gist. That's how this deck works, absolutely. So I mean, the only reason why I have any losses are either because I've gotten smoked, like Nate has, or if I've gotten outvalued by control warriors that are just like, yeah, not so good, I guess. But yeah, that's the general overview. Nate, will you walk us through the matchups?
Absolutely. So, the good, bad, and ugly. Good, above 55% win rates versus the following: Anyfin Paladin, Control Shaman, and Reno Warlock. This deck has a 35 to 45% win rate against Spell Druid, Freeze Mage, and Dragon Paladin. And then ugly matchups below 35% win rate, there aren't any. So it looks like it fares pretty well against everything mostly. Yeah,
Except
so
for like warriors, really. But I mean, if they can outvalue, if they're just constantly spamming their hero power, if they got the Justicar off and keep hero powering, you're not gonna do so well. But
I
um,
think I think Warrior you have to just play super slow. They do have a lot of card draw with their acolytes and shield blocks, and I think if you just
mhm,
go into turtle mode and play like Kabbalist Tome and just get some super like good value, I think
crazy stuff, yeah.
yeah, and just make them kind of fatigue before you potentially. It's probably like your best win rate, but it's between 45 and 55%, so it's not that bad as you were thinking or
Oh,
alluding
yeah.
to.
Well, I mean, yeah, my data is definitely very, I don't know, I forget the word, but it's very like according to how I've seen on ladder against games that I've played. But yeah, let's talk about cards that stand out. This is a Reno deck, so there's not really a lot of cards that kind of stand out really, because you have one of like most cards in Mage. But there's a lot of things that I like to what's the word? There's a lot of things that I like to combine. For some reason, I always get Shatter when I play Kabbalist Tome. So I like saving like Blizzard or what's the 3 mana Frost Nova for Shatter and stuff like that. Bookworm and Bookworm is really good as long as you have Dragon, which there are a number of dragons in this deck. There's just a lot of different things that this deck does really well, I find, and if you can get a good Emperor off, if you can get the Ice Block plus Reno Jackson off, you're gonna have a lot of value, and it's not a quick game. It's not a quick deck to play by any means, obviously, but it's a really strong one if you can just outvalue your opponent and outlast them. So those are the cards I really like. Did you like any cards at all, Nate? I know you did.
Yeah, I mean they're all good. They all definitely have potential. I mean, there weren't any like crazy picks in here. A lot of these cards you would see in like a typical Reno Mage. The only variants were obviously the dragons thrown in.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll just go into like tech choices right away, since these all seem
Yeah.
fairly straightforward and obvious. So if you want to throw something else in there besides the cards that were mentioned earlier, you can look for like a Ysera and get some extra value. You can do Deathwing if you want to like try for something really like late game surprise. Otherwise, you could throw in a Water Elemental or Archmage Antinitis would be pretty good late game if you can hold on to your cheaper spells. And then maybe even like a Medivh's Valet if you want to like throw in an additional secret to like Ice Block or something.
Yep.
Just some examples.
Yeah. I also really like what's Medivh himself, because a lot of people,
right.
a lot of people will play like I played a bunch of people who just threw out the Harrison right away because they don't expect Mage to have weapons, but they always forget that if you possibly have Medivh in their deck, and you have a lot of late game spells as well. So Medivh is really good as well if you want to add him in. I personally don't have him, but I think he's a little too slow. But yeah, I haven't really tried it out. But yeah.
Speaking of Medivh,
Oh,
time?
Is it time? Is it
I
time
think
to
so.
give away Medivh?
Yeah, all right, so I guess I'll do it then. All right, so the question is, and make sure you follow us on Twitch right now if you want a chance at winning. The question, first person to answer will get the code, just we'll call it the winner here. So how much mana did the original Pyroblast cost? Ready, go.
Back in like beta.
Before it was 10 mana, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
It wasn't always 10.
It's so funny because I actually answered it wrong the first time. I said 5.
5.
I was like, oh yeah, dude, totally 5 mana. Oh look,
All right, we got a winner. So
legit. Hearthstone.
Guilty Casual just a little bit behind.
It's all good.
All right, congrats. So legit, just whisper Meta Meltdown on Twitch, and then we'll hook you up with the code after the show.
Sounds good.
Congrats.
David always wins everything. Whatever, it's fine. 3. Okay. Congratulations to So Legit for winning Medivh. You'll get that right after. And let's go into mulligans. So for the starting hand, against aggro, you're really looking for Arcane Blast, Babbling Book, Frostbolt. You really want Doomsayer. Forgotten Torch is not too bad either, and if you have a dragon, you're definitely looking for Netherspec Historian. And you really want any of your area effects too, so Frost Nova is really good. And if you find Reno and you're scared of it being an aggro deck, you definitely want Reno because as much as damage as they can do, Reno will just heal you back up. So looking for that. Against control, what are you looking for, Nate?
Yeah, against control, Babbling Book is really good turn 1. It's just throws out another spell for you and just puts something on the board that you can play. Arcane Intellect is pretty good for card draw. So when I think about control matchups, I usually think about like you're playing Control Warrior because that is like the biggest control deck out there at the moment. So Arcane Intellect is pretty good. Kabbalist Tome is super good, especially unless you get a bunch of shatters like Dom apparently gets.
I make it work. I don't know. I'm like, ooh, shatter.
Doomsayer is still really good in control matchups. I just keep that every time if I have it in my starting hand, just because you can put it on the board and then you can gain initiative if you want to delay the game for one turn while you wait for some of your other higher mana minions to be dropped. Twilight Drake is really good if you have a larger hand because you get +1 health per card, obviously. Harrison Jones if they have a weapon class, so feel free to keep that in opening hand against like a warrior or a shaman or whatever. Well, not shaman if it's control, or if it is control, shaman, but it's usually not.
It's
yeah,
actually
and basically,
really funny because I played against a Reno shaman earlier, and I was like, why? Like, this is so much more superior. And yeah, anyways, Harrison Jones the hell out of him.
and basically it just depends on the matchup. Anything that you can get like super good value from, especially if you're against like, a control warrior like we were talking about earlier. Kabbalist Tome is probably the best card in your deck for that, just gaining 2 additional cards essentially. So
Yep, that's
about
pretty
it.
much
And obviously it depends on the matchup, but just look for whatever you can combine. Like if you have you have a dragon in your hand, feel free to keep Netherspite Historian. Then you can just play that on turn 2 and then get an additional dragon. Try and curve out your hand a little bit better. But final thoughts on this week's deck, Don?
I really like it. It's definitely something that caters to my playstyle. It's not quick, so I mean you're not really looking to climb the ladder super quick with it. You definitely do an aggro deck if you want to do that, but it's super fun to me. I really like finding different ways things can combine together and play for value. So this is my type of deck. Obviously, Nate likes different decks, and that's totally cool.
I mean, to be fair, I probably put about 10 to 12 games into it. If I played it a lot more, I could probably.
No worries. Yeah, for sure. Do you have any final thoughts on this deck?
It's interesting. I mean, it's good. I haven't played Reno Mage in a long time. Probably like at least 6 months. So you do see like streamers play it all the time just because they get bored, and they'll just like throw together a Reno Mage or something like that, like a value mage. And so it was a good change of pace. I did actually enjoy it. It just wasn't the most competitive deck in my eyes.
No worries, yeah. And it's definitely not statistically. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. Thank you for everyone who's been watching. Thank you for everyone who competed for Medivh. Downloading our podcast at www.metameltdown.com. Shout out to our moderator, Ritual Plays, for actually moderating some stuff today. And shout out to Silverddragn for actually winning Medivh. You can find this deck list in any of our previous shows at metameltdown.com. You can find us at twitch.tv/metameltdown every Thursday at 7:30 PST. You can find us on Twitter at the Metameltdown. And this definitely won't be our last giveaway, so definitely follow us on Twitter if you want to see any more details and find out if we're giving away more stuff. In the past, we've given away anything from, Medivh to card packs to just a bunch of other stuff. So definitely check us out on Twitter. Our YouTube is Metameltdown as well. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want us to do a specific deck list, I know Silverddragn has this really dank Druid that he wants us to do sometime. You can email us at metameltdownpodcast@gmail.com. So tune in next week. We're deciding on Control Warrior, Dragon Warrior. Nate, it's up to you.
We've already done Dragon Warrior. We'll do Control Warrior. It's super good right now. I've been watching like Rosti just get rank 1 on NA and EU repeatedly with it, so I think Control Warrior is probably a good pick.
Sounds good. Yep, let's do Control Warrior next week. And that's it for me. Any last thoughts?
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.
I'll see you next week. Oh, I'm so sorry. Francis didn't get it. So many people tried.
Are we out?
Not yet. Hi, I love you too, Pops. Okay. Bye, guys.